Okie dokie. So this is live, and then I go to edit video, and then I enter in those sweet, sweet timestamps. And then I remember to tab for sure and do them, and don't immediately forget. Definitely. Excellent. Okay. Right. Kind of funny that the one video I did, like literally, what was it, I guess yesterday, for Crossout immediately garnered like twice the views of all three of the Back 4 Blood ones put together, I guess. Kind of makes sense though, because people would know me for one and not the other. In any case, so I am back. Basically, I had planned to do more of the Stampede building yesterday. That didn't actually pan out on camera. What I did end up doing though is some adjustments like pretty late in the day when I didn't want to like show it. I also made an entire fucking maglev train since the machinist cabin was built, but that's not the point of this today. So basically, as I had originally indicated, I wanted to muck about with making a 10 wide build variant for this to see if it like looks or performs any better than the 8 wide variant. So what I currently have done is I did end up fusing the carapace cabin for tonnage and mass, or rather mass and then tonnage. Mass and tonnage, just because fucking YOLO, and also because it gave me enough extra mass in order to be able to basically finish up the other things I was mentioning during last stream, as what I would do if I had additional extra weight, which is adding some more under armor to the backside of all of the explosive modules. So beforehand, when I fused it for mass, I was able to get this front under area armored. Now that I also have the 600 extra tonnage, I'm able to throw on the panel underneath, in addition to replacing the 2 Firestarter minivan panels with APC roof parts. So the build is basically at, like, I think probably the finished state, at least as far as this version is concerned. Did poke around with actually swapping these bags too at some point. I don't remember why, but I seem to recall it looking better the other way. Yeah, it absolutely doesn't. Excellent. All right. So what I was planning on doing, I'd say I just got a notification. I have a feeling that somebody telling me they're going to hop on. Maybe not. Okay, excellent. But yeah, so the plan is to, presuming that they don't hop on like immediately. They keep sending me things. The plan is to basically spend the time I have here in order to make a 10 wide variant of this, which should be pretty easy and not like an hour-long affair like it was, well, last time. Be on at 5. Excellent. Okay, that works out super swell for my ability to get this done. Cool. So yeah, so I'm going to be working on making this 10 wide. So start the building at 350 building. Excellent. Save that. Pog. All right. Very nice. Got everything set up correctly, so it would seem excellent. All right, cool. So for how I want to approach this, I do know I want to basically get rid of this 2x8 gap because that'd give me a 2x2x6, and then allow me to store modules on the side rather than the underneath. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that set up. First and foremost, that means I can also put a 2x2x8 on top. Try and decide if I prefer it with the windows. Yeah, I think that's fine. Then I can do likewise on the other side, of course. Cheat out the frames. Just for the sake of getting things placed. That is beautiful. Done. No, not quite so simple, I'm afraid. So I'm gonna slap on the headlights, which frustratingly don't actually line up with that as well as they should, but whatever. Life is full of disappointment. That is misaligned. Okay. There we go. And then for the underside... Ooh, I did not think about the fact that this is only one high. So I will probably want to do a Uno reverse. Have the top component be one high, and then have the bottom component be the thicker bit. And then find something to fit that remaining gap, which in theory could be something kind of like this, but not. Can't think of any other piece that will actually fit that shape properly. So I think just slapping a 2x4 and then that part underneath might just be the best current bit I have, unless I want to do some sort of bullshit on the side. But I think this will be fine. I will, however, use that. Yeah, okay, looks pretty good. I'm gonna be lazy and just repeat this rather than try and find some new part to fill in the gap. Because again, there isn't exactly a whole lot of parts readily available that have the shape of that. And I do like the overall silhouette currently, so. No need to change what's not broken, right? So we have our remaining fuel tank, which doesn't really fit anywhere. I guess in theory I could get rid of one of these, or rather one on each side, and throw the fuel tank, the small one, in there. Unfortunately, I can't cram it anywhere on either side because the gap is only 2x2x4, the current shape. Yeah, this is where things start getting kind of dicey because, for instance, I either need to fill this or pull everything out, or just not use the bumpers as an end cap, and I know which of those decisions I like the least. I don't even normally use these parts, the elevator platforms, a whole lot, but just for the sake of keeping a consistent pattern here on the back end with the yellow and black danger stripes, I think it might be worthwhile just sticking with it. Yeah, it seems to work out okay. Yeah, so far so good. Now, as far as the Under Armour, probably better, off doing something like that. I could, in theory, yeet some of the explosives back underneath here, though that does kind of invalidate the entire point of me making it wider so I don't have explosives underneath. So I'll have to see if I can stick. Actually, no, what I can do. I can do. That, because I fear no god, and if that part is going to blow up, I mean, it's gonna it's gonna probably blow up anyway. I don't think the I don't think there's a high likelihood of the. Well, why can't you be placed there? I don't think there's a very high likelihood that the fuel barrel is going to blow up the gun mount, and if they manage to hit the gun or the fuel barrel, the gun mount is probably already gone. So that will work just fine. Hide the antenna a little bit better. And then what else? Doesn't seem to interfere with the gun, so more danger stripes. Paint them. Then I just need to determine what I'm going to be doing here. That anymore, which means that I can not go over on the core, raise the question of what I'm going to actually fill that gap with. I think the answer is that I'm going to be lame and just use these little guys, which aren't terribly efficient. Oh, but I run out of them very quickly. So maybe not those guys. Not those guys either, because I also run out of them. Alright. So probably actually towards the back, just due to the higher risk of people chewing through the back than through the front, around the around the gun and past the tracks. Fills that pretty well. So now I still have this gap here, but I'm not so sure I have an easy solution for fixing that. because I know what I've done in the past is that. And my question remains what I'll do. Oh, you know what, actually, I totally know what I'm going to do. Slap either those or those bad boys on. Still have that gap, but it's not as bad. Just need to decide what I prefer for silhouette. So I think it being out looks a little bit better. Just like on the right side there, but how does that compare to that? I think I prefer the look of this one, even though the other option is the more intelligent armoring decision. Yeah, I wish we'd have these parts, but for APC, just nice little slopes for the corners where I don't have to worry about the whole thing there, because we have like the opposite. But say la vie. Can I fit anything meaningful there? Not really. Especially not with me already being almost at the parts limit. Okay, so that's most of the build. Other than the front armor here. I wonder, do I even need that, or can I just get away with this? Tank looks too short. Alright. I'm pretty much at the max mass. I don't have a whole lot of options here. This is where the fusing the elephant turrets comes into play, surely. Honestly, it kind of feels like a good enough might be the way to go on this one. Alright, not bad, I'd say. So we have what in comparison to the other one? Have 10 less power score, slightly more durability, slightly more mass. Somehow go down in rep. What did I delete? Oh. Do I think that this would be better build? Like probably, objectively, just by having your explosive modules a lot more heavily defended. Like it's very unlikely somebody's gonna make that shot. Time will tell if they're more likely to make this shot. Might end up moving the broken radiator and the explosive parts around, but otherwise everything seems to be fitting okay. How much mass is the radio anyway? Wasn't it only like 40? 36 watts, so I can actually save 5 kilos by doing that. Heck. Stonks, ladies and gentlemen. So then is there anything else I'd rather do for that? This is less mass. I could theoretically slap those instead of these, but like they are more, I get more durability the other way. This also just looks better, so I think I'll probably go this route. Puts me 40 kilos under. So I guess I could probably just re-add left. Voila, 1 kilo over. Alright, so I think I definitely prefer the look of this variant, admittedly, but for the sake of not having things explode when I drive underneath the tank, or shoot underneath the tank, because if, whoops, it's not assemble, thank you. If one test drives, yeah, that fuel tank's actually still a problem. Mind you, not as much of a problem as this one is. If I can actually one shot, yeah. Crippling like half the build with one shot going underneath is not so super great, but neither is still popping that relatively easy. I wonder if it's just better to get rid of the fuel barrel, honestly. Not exactly a whole lot of other places where I can stash it. Hmm. Well, I guess my time is up, but I do think this is getting pretty close to where I want it to be. And I do think I am going to overwrite the other one as a result. So I'm not so sure I'll end up doing the remainder on stream, but this is very close now. I think I have an extra 150 kilos to work with. I'm just thinking about replacing this back part with the semi-slanted Steppenwolf part that I was poking around with earlier, the APC rear, as an option because I like how clean that makes everything look. And then trying to find a way to stash the ammo pack and or the fuel barrel somewhere else. And honestly, the solution for the fuel barrel might be just to get rid of it. But we'll see. We will see.